Okay.
Hello, guys. Welcome, welcome. We are here, of course, with the wonderful. We have Cece here from Kiss the Girl Events. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Ari.
We have Kaye from Kaye by Cunanan. Good evening, Kaye.
Hi.
Welcome back. You just came from out of town, diba?
Just a quick getaway.
All right, that's good. Much needed. We have Benjie Tiongco, wonderful photographer. Good evening, bro.
Hey, Ari. Good evening.
Good evening. That's
Hi.
right.
Hey,
Okay,
Ari.
can we put our mute lang natin yung thank you so much. Welcome back. You just came from out of town, diba? I think someone has the stream on. Thank you so much, guys. And we have Alesi, my bald brother right here from Treehouse Story. Kapatid, kumusta?
Yes. Mabuhay ang mga kapatid na kalbo.
Tama, tama, tama. Illuminating the ways for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, hi guys. First of all, we were supposed to have this last week, but of course, due to some internet issues, we weren't able to. So first, I just want to say thank you for making time here and being here and coming for next week, which is today. Thank you for making time, guys. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you talaga for making time. And I'm sorry for the hassle last week. Talaga.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay.
Every week pa.
Every week. Oh, sige, game. Sige. Okay. So, for those watching, we have a specific topic for today. These are for all couples watching. Feel free to message. By the way, so let me just test it. You can message questions here, which we will try to answer later. Okay. So there you go. Ayun ang mga comments natin. It's right over there. Perfect. So, we're here to tackle a specific topic. As you know, since due to the adjustments of the pandemic and ECQ, weddings are changing this year. And maybe, hopefully, they'll come back next year. Hindi natin alam. Pero yung focus natin this year. And for me kasi, I wanted to invite, of course, my friends and awesome colleagues from the industry. The reason we have Cece for coordinator, Kaye for catering, Benjie for photography, Alesi for of course videography. These are relevant kasi to SDEs naturally because the amount of time for dinner is super important for you guys, diba Benjie, Alesi? Doon kayo nag-edit talaga.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an SDE. It's a same day edit. So the question now is since most weddings will be shorter, let's say 20 to 30 people, maybe 40 to 50, the program might be shorter. And of course, dinner will be shorter. So for me, kasi, as a host, since I'm jumping back into wedding receptions, I wanted to know, makaka-SDE pa kaya? Or may oras pa bang mag-edit yung let's say, photographers, videographers? Will dinner be affected? Will it be shorter? Will it be long? Will it be much less than what it was? These are the things that I'd want to maybe answer. So, first question for everyone, and anyone can jump in for this. Have your packages changed? Has the process of editing changed recently for weddings?
Mm-hmm. Ako na.
Sige, Benji. I'll address you. Sige.
Well, for our packages, we adjusted the inclusions,
Mm.
especially yung number of people in the team.
Yes.
Kasi most events these days would require a lesser
Amount.
number of people. So what we have for now is parang two photographers, including me, and then another assistant.
Mm.
So yun lang, malayo siya from the regular 9 people na may mga maraming assistants,
Tama.
may mga additional photographers pa. I think sakto lang naman kasi konti lang din naman yung guests na i-cover,
Tama.
especially for those events na 10 tao lang.
Mm-mm.
So you won't need a ton of photographers to cover it.
True.
And then yung what we have for now is a next day edit. But
Mm.
if for example eventually mag-iba yung status,
Yes.
then magkaroon na ng longer program,
Mm.
baka possible na magkaroon pa rin ng same day edit.
Mm. So you're saying right now, based on the circumstances now, mahirap mag same day ngayon kasi it's or kaya naman or just that's just what's happening right now muna.
Kaya naman if
Mm.
for example may mag-ask na pwede bang mag-SDE, doable naman siya. We'll just add another person who will work on that. Pero syempre, what if hindi na pasok dun sa number of people na allowed sa venue? Syempre, pa-prioritize nila na sige, photographers na lang.
Photographers na lang.
Rather than have the SDE. So yun, isang factor din yun that probably will be considered by couples, yung number of people allowed sa venue.
Tama, because you need a certain amount of teams to be able to pull off a same day edit. Because if you're editor, you have to get certain shots. Okay, so
Yeah.
my question, sige, for Cece naman.
Yeah.
If a couple, let's say, Cece, gusto namin mag-SDE talaga, gusto namin magka-SDE, is it possible to do it now? Is it at all possible to do it now? Kasi for me lang kasi, I haven't done a reception yet na ako nag-host. Na wala pa. Kasi right now, wala. There's no host. Is it possible to do it now? And if it's not, when do you think that maybe you will have a chance at normal receptions to start happening based on your experience lang?
Okay, it's going to be a team effort definitely. So hindi ko yan masasagot ng ako lang. But
Yes, of course.
if ever the client wants that to happen, then definitely they have to have a venue with the proper specifications. Like
Tama.
they need to have like a setup for a projector or even like a small LED if ever, diba? And the power consumption has to be able to manage whatever technical requirements
Tama.
that setup will require,
Yes.
diba? Syempre, lights and sounds also. And then, it's going to be a collaboration also with the photo and video teams kasi
Tama.
syempre, editing time has to be shorter, so they have to explain to the client that, it's not going to be your usual SDE that you will see with 2 songs, diba? Posibleng 1 song
One
na
song
lang, with lesser moments. And then also with the caterer na syempre parang sila din, they have to adjust in terms
Make it
of
smaller.
the serving time,
Tama.
the prep time, etc. So yeah, it's really a collaboration, and the host and the coordinator will just make sure everything will go smoothly. But dun sa back end side, everyone has to commit
Tama.
to the timings para we can achieve that.
Okay, so my next question based on that, syempre, dinner would have to be shorter. So, Kay, let's say for 20 to 30 people. Okay, so here, what is the most you can stretch dinner for 20 to 30 people? And then my next question will be for Benjie and Alesi. What's the minimum amount of time that you would probably need to pull off a decent SDE? Hindi ko pinapressure, that's why I'm doing this. That's baka sabihin,
Love you, Benjie.
I mean, we all, I have huge respect for photographers in video. Hindi ako nagpe-pressure, ha. I'm just saying that actually the reason I'm doing this is just because I want to be able to have SDEs, and for couples, like I want to be able to, for that process to be able to happen, because if it's not long enough, then ang hirap. So okay, let's say for 20 to 30 people, and let's add 40 na rin. What's the most you can stretch dinner for that amount of time?
Okay. I think the main difference between like weddings before all this happened
Yes.
and weddings now is that yun nga, if let's say a wedding before was like let's say a minimum of 100 persons,
Yeah.
you would have 10 groups of tables having to have their pictures taken first with the
Tama.
couple
Tama.
before going to the buffet.
Tama.
So that like gave additional time for the queue gave additional time for the
Yes.
photographers to edit. But now, parang ilang tables na lang? Say 30. We do 5 to a table now. My math is not good. So 30 divided by 5.
Okay, yeah.
Ano yun? 6
Six
tables.
tables. Six tables. Ako rin napaisip. Teka lang ah.
Not fair. I mean, a good amount of tables.
Mm.
But in our protocols now, what we're trying to do is do a combination of plated and buffet in one service.
Okay.
So even if it's a buffet service, we are going to serve the soup on the tables.
Okay.
So that can take, a few minutes,
Okay.
maybe 10
I
minutes,
love that.
10 to 15, yeah?
Yeah.
And then we're going to serve the salad next. So it's
Mm.
going to take another 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then that's the only time I don't know if like, yes, we still have to queue, right, Cece? Kasi
Yeah.
kailangan may social distancing sa
Yes.
hindi naman pwedeng everyone will go to the
Hindi
buffet
pwede.
all
Yeah,
at
of course.
the time, diba?
That's right.
So there's still gonna be queuing, and actually it might take a little bit longer because unlike the buffets before na dikit-dikit yung line sa buffet,
Yeah.
Tama.
we'll have to make sure there's at least like a meter or two apart from
Spread out.
the next person.
So that would make it slightly. That would definitely extend the duration. But
Right.
for that, but how long? Okay, my next question is: will pictures still happen, guys? Since let's say social distancing, this is like ano lang. Will we still have pictures? Diba usually diba pag buffet, the standard thing is tayo picture muna sa couple, hand to the buffet. With case process na parang we're gonna serve there, how do pictures come into play? Or are pictures still going to happen na parang picture per table with the couple?
So I think Benji would be the best person.
iniisip ko.
Sige.
Oo.
Ah,
Pero
Actually,
kung top of mind, sorry lang.
sige.
Top of mind lang na possible pa rin yun, coordination side.
Hmm.
We can actually do the pictorials before they go to the buffet, just like the usual, after they do the salad
Right.
part of dinner. Pero since nga lesser yung people dun sa table, I think Benji will be able to, or the photographer will be able to manage the setup in front or where the couple is na medyo layo-layo sila. So, Benji, what do you think?
well, actually, magandang question yun. Hindi ko pa siya naisip, to be
Yeah,
honest.
then great.
Pero,
That's wonderful. How
I
would
think-
you, like
I
off the top of your head, sige.
Top of my head, ang pinaka-possible doon is yung couple yung lalapit. And then nasa back naman sila. The guests will be seated. Pwede nyo lang i-move slightly yung chair nila together. Hindi naman yung super tabi-tabi, and then you have the couple behind them. I think it's lesser of a risk kasi yung parang tabi-tabi sila na
Tama.
nasa gitna yung couple.
Yes.
And everyone's just standing beside them. So mas less din yung chances for the droplet, ganyan.
Tama.
Although recently I've seen a couple of weddings that were done. May mga iba naman na normal group photos lang yung nangyayari.
Yun.
So I guess a huge factor would be yung preference ng couple. I'm just not sure where to draw the line kung sasabihan ba namin sila na parang, oh guys, social distance lang, or do we just let them be na sige kung anong gusto nyong group photo. So
Alam,
yun ang
iniisip.
iniisip ko, parang do we remind them na parang social
Uy.
distancing lang, or
It might
do
be a
we
mood
just-
killer.
do we
Kasi
just
parang,
let them be? Baka mood killer.
you know what's so funny? Cece mentioned this. Cece, you mentioned this in our talk last week na parang, kasi syempre their family, it's gonna be so hard to police them, and
Yeah.
parang it's not like, you want to be safe, and tell them. Pero paano kung lumuluha na? Parang, I miss you so. Mahal. Tapos si Alesi, ang ganda ng shot, Cece. Ang ganda ng shot.
Oo.
Ang ganda ng
Bigla
shot.
akong haharang.
Ah,
Wait.
wait. Yun din yung iniisip ko, no? Na parang, Alessa, you recently shot something, I saw it on Instagram na it's basically parang SDE na parang considering, during this time, what were the challenges and did you feel that you needed to limit na parang, oy guys, social distancing muna? Did that ever come into play during that day?
Actually, for that wedding kasi, most actually even the last wedding we shot, mostly kasi family lang yun nandun. They all live in the same house. So,
Okay.
parang hindi rin sila nasanay mag-mask in front of each other. So, kahit sa reception, yeah, syempre, meron pa rin social distancing. Pero like, kunyari, mag-picture na sila. Naglalapit-lapit din sila eh. Parang, syempre, isang bahay lang naman tayo. Diba?
Tama.
Why not naman na magsama-sama tayo sa picture? Parang ganun. Pero, well, ayun nga, parang, di mo pa rin sila mapipigilan eh. Like, kung ano yung gusto nila, yun pa rin yung masusunod eh. Tayo, andun lang tayo.
We're
to
doing our
support
job.
the
Yeah,
wedding.
we're doing our job.
Just
We
doing
wanna.
our job eh. Diba?
Pero parang,
Yeah. So, parang sila pa rin talaga yung masusunod. Kahit sabihin mo, medyo awkward, like, for us and for them, di ba? Siyempre, virus, andyan lang yan.
pero ang hirap, di ba? Parang that's such a
Hirap,
difficult
hirap.
situation. I'm not, there's no right answer here. Because, I mean, it's not like we have the authority to tell them how to be. It's your family, it's your life as well, na parang we're here to work. Pero at the same time, you want to make sure to also, I don't think there's a right answer eh. Parang feel lang, no? You just have to feel it out based on what the couples
Depende
is.
talaga.
Oo, the best we can do lang talaga is try to just keep social distancing at the best with our abilities. And kung family, that's their decision. Pero as much as possible, you want to say, please, don't risk your lives. Buhay na to. Mapa-photoshop namin kayo. Mapa-photoshop. Madidikit namin kayo sa Photoshop.
Sa
Promise.
video, walang Photoshop eh.
Kayang ka. Oo nga, sa video nga, ibang klaseng editing software yun. Okay, so just to kind of go back to where we were going, how much time would you need, Alesi, and then I'll have with Benjie, how much time would dinner have to be para you can still pull off, let's say, these are for couples, let's say, within the next few months. Sabihin natin mga September, October, because August looks probably the same as this month. Sabihin natin September or maybe September, October, November, December, these things. Because most likely there's a chance that baka we can have some semblance of a normal reception program. Maybe, right? How much time would you need? Let's say 20 to 40 people na you would need to edit a proper SDE with the manpower, the minimum manpower that you have. Kasi factor din yun, no, yung manpower nyo. How many are you? How much time? Who can do who? So, minimum, sabihin natin minimum manpower. And can you give us that number? Yung minimum power and the most healthy amount of time that you can put out a good SDE for these couples.
Well, for us kasi, before, nung normal pa lahat, we have 7 people in the team.
7, okay.
So there's 4 cameras, there's an editor, assistant, and 2 assistants basically. Then now, nung nagbago na lahat, actually we haven't done an SDE yet, pero we do live streams. Yun pa lang, siguro there's already 5 to 6 people na eh. So, kung gusto nila ng SDE, halos ganun din yung manpower na makukuha. Kailangan namin, at least 6 people.
6 people?
Kasi,
yun ang minimum?
yes, for,
minimum yun?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for a normal SDE. Kasi, yun, editor pa lang, magdadagdag ka na ng person, di ba?
Tama.
So, tapos cameras mo pa. And, for us kasi, nahihirapan. If minimum manpower, kung sabihin mo, 2 shooters lang yung meron ka, dagdag ka ng editor, kaya pa rin naman siya. Pero it's just malilimit lang talaga yung mga shots na magagamit namin, yung angles namin. Oo. So, dun pa lang, medyo magbabago na ng
tone.
Yung flow ng SDE. Oo. Pero, kaya pa naman siyang gawin. Siguro, at least, kung reception program mo, siguro, at least 2 hours kaya siya.
Kung 2 hours kaya siya. And that's dinner lasting for maybe 30
An
minutes.
hour and a half, mga ganun.
An hour, and okay, sige. Benji, same thing. Like minimum amount of time. How much time would you need? Oh wait, sorry. Unless you didn't answer, how much time would you need within dinner? So, but you said 2 hours
Dinner.
reception. Para
When
at
the
least I can
reception
follow up with
program
Kay as well.
starts, yeah, when the reception program starts, siguro at least mga 1.5 to 2 hours nga. Ganun siya.
And
Ganun
Di-
tayo eh, di ba? Matagal ginagawa yun eh.
And then dinner lang.
Pero
Let
depende,
how long would it? Kasi
Alesi, I don't love
Pero
you
it
na.
depends.
dinner lang.
Depende.
How
Depends
much?
on the wedding program.
Yeah, no. Ito standard wedding program tayo. Let's say it's okay. Ito na ha, guys. Let's align this. Let's align this lang. Registration. Okay, hindi kasama 'yon. Welcoming remarks. Doon ako nagsa-start. Let's say, for example, welcoming remarks. It's welcoming remarks, acknowledgement of principal sponsors and parents, parade of the entourage, baka wala masyado yon. And then if then the couples welcome, yung they're gonna walk in, and then we have the first dance, and then maybe the cake cutting, or maybe cake cutting will be after na lang. That in itself, I would say, Cece, that lasts about 20 minutes, 20 to 30.
20 to 30 minutes.
20 to 30 minutes yun, no? Like, sabihin natin 20, just to be conservative with ano,
Yeah.
20. Dinner, usually is like them having pictures with everyone, and then until siguro maharang nagdi-dessert na tayo. All that usually lasts about 45 minutes to an hour. Correct me if I'm wrong? 45 minutes to an hour?
Yeah.
Pwede.
But 45 minutes to an hour. Okay. Yung dinner na yon, pag nag-start na yung dinner, so now we have an hour and 5 minutes, di ba? So we would have to have the post program to last about an hour, or maybe 30 minutes to an hour, which in paper, kaya. Kaya if it's the same amount of people who talk. For me lang kasi, the crucial part here is dinner. Kung super bilis kasi ng dinner, ako kasi as a we can do things. The same amount of people can talk because the same amount of people will be present. You can still have the first dance. You can still have a game. I can have Bato Bato Pick Social Distancing Edition. I mean, I'm just saying, off the top of my head, kaya yun. Parang Gcash yung bayad, di ba? Gcash mo. Gcash mo. Gcash mo yung 20. Nakuha mo ba yung confirmation?
May QR code
Oh,
na nakalagay
oo. QR po. O, scan mo, bayad. Send 20, nakuha mo ba yung confirmation text? Okay, up round number 2! Di ba? I'm just saying, I mean, there are ways to make it happen. You can, because the same amount of people are going to be speaking, you'll still have a dance with the parents if that's what they want. Kung gusto nila, it depends. There, for me kasi, ako iniisip ko, it's possible. It might not be, but I don't know. But that's why I wanted to invite everyone to kind of discuss what we possibly can do for couples who want a normal SDE. Now, for dinner, for 20 to 30 people, kaya ba yung 45 minutes to an hour, Kay?
I think 45 minutes.
Kaya.
Max yun.
Yeah.
Max yun. 20 to 30 people, 45 minutes.
I think, I mean, if we can talk about not just dinner service, but maybe add in the cocktail hour, that can be like an additional
Maybe.
30 minutes, maybe.
stretch.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking from I'm trying to remember, like, my brother's wedding was actually just 30 persons.
Yes.
Although we were not in the Philippines. But,
Yes.
Just trying to see it in a different perspective, no? We don't have to look at it as kasi dito sanay tayo.
Dapat
100.
madami. Oo nga.
Correct.
Yes.
But during his wedding, we were only 30. And actually, ang haba ng dinner namin.
How
Ang
long?
haba ng cocktails, ang haba ng dinner. Kasi lahat magkakilala eh. So, the conversations were longer. The speeches were hindi lang si mom and dad. Parang since it was such a tight group, everyone wanted to talk and say something about the couple. So I guess it's an additional
Tama.
pang-stretch. Yeah, again, going back to cocktails, maybe in my own wedding, the thing that I missed that we wished we were part of was actually cocktails, because I feel like cocktails set the mood of the reception. In our new protocols and like the original package that we set for our clients, I originally put cocktails as part of dinner service kasi I don't want to pass around anymore.
Mm.
Kasi diba when you pass around finger food, parang there's so many
Medyo nakaka... Ah, so
ways.
parang sinama mo na sa dinner yung cocktails.
Sinabi siya ng dinner. But when we were having
Mm.
our meetings, that made me think na parang, wait lang, I think I can still do cocktails. But have individual stations. Oo. Tapos siguro parang, from the station, we pack it in on an enclosed food pack. Pero
Tama.
at least, hindi siya dapat finger food. Dapat, it's wrapped or it's on a stick. So at least, your guests are not eating with their hands.
Tama.
And wala, parang nice lang kasi yun yung time talaga na although mingling, diba, siguro dapat may social distancing while mingling. But if you have a big enough venue, I mean, it's okay to talk to somebody like 1 or 2 meters apart from you. Yun. I mean, I just remembered my brother's wedding and how beautiful it
How
was.
long ago was this? Yung with your brother's wedding? A while back. A while
Yeah,
back.
a while
A while back.
back.
I see. And by the way, guys, here's the thing. There's no right answer right now. This is actually this whole thing what we're doing now is honestly figuring it out. If the couple's watching right now, this is probably the things we're gonna talk about, trying to pull off a wedding program within the next few months. So I mean, this is honestly just for me sharing the sort of conversation. See, even the dog agrees. Tama, alam mo, just try to. I'm just saying. Tama, tama, solutions. But this is us, honestly. This is the things I foresee us talking about when we start doing weddings again. Okay, so we have Darlene. Hi, guys. We had Darlene Tan Salazar, also wonderful host. Hi, guys. We had a program with 16 people recently, did most of the usual program elements, and had an on-site photo slideshow as well as a same-day edit. So possible recently, Darlene. So yung tanong ko lang doon, how long did dinner last, Darlene? Yun ang magandang question. How long did dinner last? I would love to
Hi,
ask.
Darlene.
Hi, Darlene, by
Hi,
the way.
Dar.
Hello, hi, Dar. So, okay.
Hi, Darlene.
Pero while we're waiting for Darlene's answer, Kaye, you're saying for 20 to 30 people, you're saying if we add cocktails, max 30 minutes. 45 minutes pala. 45 minutes.
Ako, like, if there's good music, good wine,
Mm.
good food,
Mm-mm.
your cocktails can last 45 to an hour.
So kaya. So the answer here.
How nice, I mean, ako sa kasal ko, I wished I joined cocktails. And parang nice lang additional photos na relax, di ba? Hindi
Tama.
yung picture nasa likod ng nasa sofa.
Tama.
Or, you see everyone's outfits, how beautiful everyone looks, and full body shot. I mean, I'm just throwing ideas in.
No, it's a great idea. And for me, coming from a case idea, our lunch was around 30 to 40 minutes because it's sit-down service. So yun, 30 to 40 minutes yung lunch with 16 people. That's coming from what Darlene is saying. Darlene, would love to have you over the show sometime, definitely. I would love to definitely hear from you more in that regard. So Kaya with 16 people, 30 to 40 minutes. Coming off Kaye's idea, kung sinama mo yung cocktails after dinner, Benjie, Alesi, you can get shots from that moment, no? Kung nagka-cocktails and nagmi-mingle.
Actually, maganda nga siya eh. Maganda siya kasi more natural yung reactions ng tao. Hi! Congratulations! And pag nakunan mo yung ganun, ang ganda na eh.
Kasama na yun.
Diba? Oo.
So, pwede magamit.
Mas okay siya na moments. Mas magagamit mo siya, actually. For us.
Question there. That it doesn't matter kung mangyari yung cocktails before dinner starts or mas makakatulong ba sa inyo if it happens during dinner. 'Di ba usual cocktails before everyone walks in the venue, 'di ba? But in this case, would it help you more if you had the cocktails during dinner or yung usual before the program bago sila pumasok? When would it...
Before siguro.
Mas okay yon.
Mas okay siya before talaga.
Kasi mapipicture mo lahat, tapos malalagay mo na sa edit, and then you can start arranging things, no? So parang the minutes add up.
Yung kasali sila.
Kasi pag nasa loob kayo, same thing, parang same shot, di ba? So here, maybe you can make cocktails a lot more, parang super binongga mo pa yung cocktails kasi it's less people and you can have stations. So cocktails can be more of an event. Parang it's more of an event within uh, an intimate wedding ceremony. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
Ah,
Okay, so that's a
pwede.
good suggestion. So couples listening now, cocktails. And agree din si Darlene. She said cocktails since everyone knows everyone. And this is what I feel. I feel wedding receptions are also tayo kasi mga Filipino, what I've heard, dapat maraming tao, dapat super special. 'Di ba? Parang maraming tao, super special. Pero honestly, if it's less people, mas komportable
Mas
ka kasi ito yung
comfort.
pinaka-close mong kilala eh. These are like the pinaka-close talaga. Have you felt that difference, guys, within, let's say, if you've had with the intimate weddings that you've been able to do recently and before? Have you felt the energy different?
Yes,
Different.
super. Actually, super.
Yeah.
Mas
Super.
natural siya talaga. Mas may feel mo talaga yung emotions ng tao. And like big weddings kasi yung iba parang nag-uusap lang, kaya sa church or sa ceremony, nag-uusap-usap lang sila. Hindi nila naiintindihan kung ano yung nangyayari.
Hmm.
Unlike now na konti lang sila, tas nasa harap sila lahat. So
Tama.
mas naiintindihan nila like yung mga sinasabi ng pastor, mas na take in nila lahat eh. Parang ganun.
Parang mas hindi sila kapag yung mga small weddings, parang mas guards down sila. So mas hindi sila nahihiya.
Hindi sila conscious.
Hindi sila conscious.
Ito.
And then which makes yung mga like what Kaye said earlier, yung mga speeches tend to be longer kasi hindi sila nahihiya na parang yung mga makakarinig o baka may hindi makakapos dyan. Oo.
Tama.
So, most of the time, yung mga nakakarinig ng speeches for intimate weddings, may idea kung ano yung sinasabi nung nagsispeech.
Tama.
So, everyone gets to laugh, everyone nagigets yung nangyayari. So, yeah. Pero before din naman, marami din naman mga intimate weddings that happened. Like mga beach weddings sa Boracay or out of town places.
Yes.
May mga weddings naman ng mga 20, 30 people, 40. And then, like what Kay said, possible na mahaba din yung nangyayari kasi they tend to hang around sa cocktails a lot longer.
Mas komportable.
Mas comfortable. So, in terms of kung doable yung SDE with that
Setting.
with the setting, doable siya kasi parang they're not in a rush to leave.
True. And ang dami yung material.
Oo.
That works well. Cece, in that regard, for intimate, like you feel that, do you agree that you've noticed? Kasi, syempre, coming from a coordinator's perspective, you see everything. You have an overview of the event. For you, do you feel intimate weddings now? And for me, no choice. It's gonna be intimate weddings for the next year. Like, it's automatic intimate weddings talaga. Do you feel that things are gonna be a lot more emotional? Couples will be more comfortable? Do you feel you'll have that sort of vibe more based on your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, syempre, especially now that we don't get to go out and see our family and friends as often as we want to. So, syempre, when they gather, even if 20 or 30 lang sila, it's going to be a very special occasion, whatever that will be, diba? Even if it's a birthday or a wedding or whatnot. So, the challenge there really is since yung guard nga nila mas down, diba? Kapag intimate, kapag they all know each other, chances are mas kahit then they enjoy the company of each other, syempre mas marami silang mapapansin, 'di ba? Like if they go hungry, ganyan, after 30 minutes of mingling, syempre parang
Tama.
magugutom na sila kasi nakakapagod magsalita, especially now with masks on. It's really an effort to talk,
And to
'di ba? Amongst themselves. So parang I don't want to be a spoiled sport. It's a very ideal situation na mahaba yung cocktails, but at the end of the day, they really have to tell their family and guests na there will be an hour cocktail. Don't get mad. Parang ganun pa rin. Same briefing.
Tama.
Na don't get mad at your suppliers kapag hindi pa nag-start yung program, etc. So, parang ganun. Kailangan everybody is informed of what's going to happen para the expectations are clear.
And honestly, there also might be situations where because people, kasi ako, for me, what I haven't dealt with yet is the different emotions different guests will feel. Kasi some might be super happy to see each other. some might be overly anxious about the pandemic. Na parang, I really don't want to stay here as long as I want to. That's possible, di
May
ba?
ganun.
May
Right.
That's
ganon, di ba?
possible.
Parang let's just end this, let's just get this done. We just want to do. May ganon ha. And for
Mm-hmm.
couples listening, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just trying to be real about what we are thinking and what we're foreseeing, because we will have to manage these emotions. If you feel, ako for me as a host, if I feel na nagmamadali and feel they're anxious, syempre, you try your best to kind of adjust and take care of it, and you want to keep things as swift as possible in that sort of thing, so without ruining the mood. So I guess really it's a case to case basis. But one thing I want, that we spoke about last week, that I really want, and Kaye mentioned this, Cece mentioned this, Benjie and Alesi mentioned this, couples, if you want to have a semblance of um, normal wedding reception, the usual thing, if you really want to make this work and you don't want to add any sort of stress or tension to the flow of the program, I heard it from all my colleagues here, you have to get a proper venue. Diba? A proper sized venue. Because what's gonna happen daw kasi is, if it's too tight, let's say sa bahay lang, or it's like a super tight venue, you have to consider the logistics with, like you said, Alesi will have 7, 6 people, Cece like a certain amount of people. Kung dikit-dikit lahat na parang sakto-sakto lang kasya, and social distancing was not kept in mind, that will add tension, one, to the overall program, and two, people just might be anxious because we're so close to each
Close.
other. So my question there is, have you gone through things like this na parang you've seen, okay, pag super tight yung program, ganito, pero pag big venue, and kung big venue man, what classifies a proper big venue, and what are the options that couples have? Should they go with their original, or if they're gonna look for an alternative, how big are they looking for? 20 to 30 to 40? Cece, I think you'd be one of the people that we can start with for your.
Yeah, syempre, it really depends. So parang if you initially thought of having 300 people on your wedding and then downsize it to 30, I don't think staying in the same venue will be the most ideal setup. But definitely looking at a venue that will house around 100 guests would be the most ideal
Mm,
scenario or venue, kasi parang they can um, partition the venue in such a
tama.
way that the cocktails will be on this side and the reception will be on this side. Um, and still maintain a good number of tables. Because if before we had 10 at a table, right now I think Kay will be having 5 or 6 at a table na
Yes.
lang for social distancing measures. So yon, parang that for me is one um uh, reason kung bakit bigger venue dapat for
Mm,
even an intimate wedding. And second would be the logistics side of it. Syempre,
tama.
you'll need to set up like lights and sound suppliers will need space kahit paano. The caterers will need a kitchen,
Tama.
a decent kitchen to prepare their food and to also have their social distancing measures at the back end of the
Tama.
preparation. So yung mga ganong klase. And a venue, of course, would have strict protocols in terms of sanitation and disinfection would be perfect.
So kailangan sanitation. And for you, if the venue, okay, here guys, question. So for couples to be able to also have this in mind, kung walang sanitation yung venue prior or before, is that a red flag?
Oo naman. Of
Ha?
course. Of course.
Okay.
Definitely.
We are going to be preparing food on their, on
Yes.
their tables. We are bringing our team in. It's not just going to be.
Yeah.
So, I think it would really be wise now to work with a venue with that's very professional and with and protocols as well. So when you book one, or let's say if you book one before and you wanna know if you can still have your wedding there, you can definitely ask them if they've already put protocols in place.
Okay, so definitely sanitation is super important in that case. So, um, would you say that's a non-negotiable, CC? And for Benji and Alessi, non-negotiable, dapat isanitize. Kung hindi, are you like willing to say, I'm sorry, it's not something I'm willing to do kung hindi nagsasanitize?
Yes, of course. Kami,
Ako din.
it's part of our uh, parang new agreement sa couples, definitely yung safety, not just for us, but for everyone who's
Everyone.
going to be in the venue for their event. Kasi hindi lang naman kami yung posibleng magkasakit, di ba?
Yes.
Everybody
Yeah.
will possibly get infected for
Yes.
whatever virus
Yes.
na
Tama.
nandun.
And I think one thing that we also have to think about, and I think should be an end goal for all couples, guys. I think the one of the most important goals, of course, is to make sure you all have a wonderful day. Yes, but it's just as important for people not to get infected. Because if you do, then weddings are out again, 'di ba? Parang that's
Mm.
another, 'di ba? Oy, may nagkasakit sa wedding, or let's
Sa
say you have
wedding.
several,
Yes.
wala, the wedding
Yeah.
industry will just go back to ECQ, and then we're just going to have to do this all over again. So,
Yeah.
parang
That's
there's a
right.
collective responsibility for us suppliers and couples to make sure the conditions are safe. If as a supplier you accept questionable conditions, in the long run, mangyayari dyan, we're gonna be back to square one again. Na parang wala mo ng weddings ulit. So it's understandable it's just as important to have a special day, yes. But safety also has to be top priority. So just to wrap up this point, which I feel is important for couples, um, pag 20 to 30 people, or let's say 40 to 50, 100 person venue. Is that safe enough to say?
I think like instead of looking at the venue na parang, oh my gosh, this venue is too big. It
Yeah,
was supposed to be good for 200 and we're now only 30 or 50.
tama.
Alam mo dati, ang problema namin as caterer is, di ba, Cece, parang, oh my gosh, ang sikip. Gusto niya ng word ko na malagay.
Yeah.
I think now,
Ngayon, naluwag na.
oh my dance floor.
Yes.
Ilang
Ah,
dance floor ang
enough more
kailangan
space.
mo.
Oh.
Or dati, I mean, you can also, di ba, parang we can also work with our stylists, like sila Dave, sila GMP, all our friends in the styling world about to, yun, like what she said, create areas, like we can have a cocktail area. And since not everyone, di ba, can go to the ceremonies at church, if you want to do like a mini ceremony just
Ang
to
ganda
say
nun.
your vows again
I
in
love
front
it.
of everyone, we can have like, you can maximize your venue
Your
now.
venue. Tama. Tama. You know what? I remember us talking about this last week, and I absolutely love this idea because one, couples will still be having their original venues. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Most couples, kasi nag-book na sila ng venue. And what we're basically trying to point out here is you don't have to let that venue go. You can, instead of looking at it as sayang, no, pwede mo siyang i-maximize, correct? Pwede mong
Yeah.
i-maximize in a way na parang, okay, what I loved, I think Kaye mentioned this or Cece mentioned this, you can have your ceremony and reception within that same venue because there's so little people na involved, di ba? Parang pwede na kayo mag-get married and then transfer na kayo within the same sort of venue. Would you feel that these are viable options?
Yes, if they're doing a non-Catholic wedding,
Mm.
definitely that's a great suggestion.
Mm.
And this happens naman before pa airy na parang
Of
if
course, yeah.
let's say a couple prefers to be in one venue for prep, ceremony, and reception. We've done that before. But noon lang, syempre um, with more guests, syempre mas matagal yung setup time, yung fixing from ceremony setup to
Yeah.
a reception setup. So this one, I think this will be more faster. Pati logistics wise for the caterers and the stylist, it's not going to be a major headache to transform the venue in what 15 to 20 minutes so that guests can come in
That is true.
again.
That's
Diba?
true.
Yeah.
Would it be easier to shoot, guys, with that sort of setup? Let's say reception and all. Would you feel that that would make the job a little bit easier?
Well, basically, it's the same. Kasi
Mm.
nagagawa rin namin siya before eh. Kunyari, kunyari, isang wedding, isa lang yung ceremony and reception venue dahil umulan nga, dahil outdoor nga yung wedding niya. Eh, same pa rin naman siya. Ganun na ganun pa rin siya.
Feeling ko it would help yung mention kanina ni Kay na if there will be additional styling kasi they have the space, we can
Yes.
use that as part of the photo shoot
Yun
or
ang
part of
iniisip
the
ko
video
din. I was
shoot.
just thinking about that. Tama. Go on,
So
sorry.
we can use those areas parang i-maximize na lang since they have it booked already. So yun, it would help kasi hindi nalilipat ng location for a photo shoot. So nandun na lang din, di ba?
Pwede kang parang mag-preview cover, yung parang nakaganon sila. Parang pwede ka na
Yeah,
mag-stage. 'Di ba?
pwede
Parang
yun.
pwede ka mag-setup ng backdrop. Like, since you have all this space, you can set up a backdrop. And what happens there, you have a social distancing backdrop na that has, 'di ba, parang it's safe kasi and totong super, like, imagine those big layout shots na pang cover after you have your dinner. It's safe, one, and I can imagine that could be a good shot with amazing style, with great styling in Met. Do you visualize it,
Yep.
Benji?
We usually do that naman, yung parang ganung
Oo.
group shot. So, pasok yun. Doable yun, definitely. Especially kung konti lang naman yung guests
Oo.
nila. We can have them in one shot.
Tama. And you can do that in between tables. And that will take some time. 'Di ba? Parang 6 tables, let's say 30 people and 5 people per table. You can have a 5-person shot, or you can even mix it up na parang if you have a big space, you can have the entire family, you can have all these sort of really themed shots na pwede mong gawin. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, true. It's some sort of activity then that they can do.
Mm-mm.
Something that hindi siya nagagawa before kasi you have other guests
So many
to
people.
consider. So many people. So,
Oo
since
nga.
it's just the core family lang, so parang mas siya, parang mas doable siya.
And ang dami mong shots na pwedeng gawin. Nagsasmile,
Yep.
ganda ng smile ni Benji, guys. So, tingnan mo. Parang, magandang idea to, ah. Parang, kita mo yung smile niya, ang
Okay
dami.
yan, ah.
Okay to, ah.
Pwede pala
Pero
yun
syempre,
Pwede yan. Diba? Ang ganda. Totoo yung smile niya. Tingnan mo, talagang nag-ear to ear. Eh. So, talagang, but here's the thing. These are options you can have if you book a proper size venue. So, this is the point I think we're all kind of agreeing. One, it's safe for everyone, logistically, because everyone has space. It aligns to the goal of really preventing any sort of infection to spread for COVID because you have proper social distancing. You have a venue that can have proper social distancing because it's big enough. So for couples who have their venues, maybe you don't have to think about getting a smaller one. Because there's so many, I guess to really wrap this up properly, there's so many things that you can do with a bigger venue that you cannot do talaga with a smaller venue, correct? Okay. So I think that's one thing that I feel that is super, super important. If you want to have some semblance of, let's say, a normal, usual reception program, then maybe it's good to keep in mind to still keep your original venue. It's not like couples have to book their original venue, diba? Book a new venue or a bigger venue. These venues just automatically become bigger kasi 20 to 30 people or 40 people na lang.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a great solution. Honestly, that's a great solution. So just to make sure that we're all aligned, 30 minutes to 45 minutes for dinner, 20 to 30 people. It could be longer if we have additional activities. Minimum amount, Alesi, is 6 people. Benji, is it also 6 people for you for editing?
For the SDE,
For SDE?
siguro kaya siya mga 5 people.
5 people.
Oo.
5 people.
Kasi for us, parang kaya namang mag-move around ng photographers. So parang doable naman siya with that setup.
But what I'm getting from Benji and Alesi, the program, overall program, lahat-lahat na 2 hours, kaya nyong gawin.
Kaya.
Kaya naman yun.
Actually,
Kaya.
kahit mas maikli pa siya, kaya siya. Pero it depends na lang kung ano yung malalagay namin, syempre. Kunyari, ang daming pwedeng gawin ang daming happening sa reception, di ba?
Tama.
Sayang naman kung hindi namin malalagay. Parang ganun. Depende na lang sa couple talaga, sa reception program.
The reception
Actually, huge factor din pala yung preference nung couple.
Tama.
If they are gonna look for the usual slideshow na probably longer, baka hindi siya maging doable on the same day. But kung same day lang, doable naman siya kung maiksi lang din yung, sabihin natin, kunwari, shorter yung program, shorter yung dinner, kasi konti lang talaga sila, less than 10 people or 10 people lang. An SD is still doable. but definitely a lot shorter than the usual. So, kailangan lang namin silang i-inform ahead of time that there will be a huge difference, especially when it comes to the photos that will be captured. Mag-iiba din siya kasi I think what I'm seeing now is parang mas nagiging mas moments yung mga nangyayari sa mga intimate weddings these days. So walang halos entourage, 'di ba, na nakukuhaan.
Tama.
And then kung may mga details man, wala din masyadong mga details, baka sing-sing lang. So hindi na rin sila nagbo-bother mag-prepare ng mga maliliit na trinkets. So not much of those.
I see. So, coming from that, do you see a trend, Alesi, Benji, na parang these sort of ECQ type affected on-site photos and videos are gonna be coming out more, or there's gonna be a specific package na, guys, ito yung basic. I don't want to call it ECQ style, or basically just. Do you foresee packages being put out by videographers and photographers na specifically for these sort of situations in the future?
Yeah, for now kasi, syempre, lahat kami, nagbago rin kami ng packages. Kasi most of the intimate weddings is parang, syempre, hindi na nila kailangan daw ng SDE yung iba kasi konti lang naman daw sila.
Yes.
So,
May
we
ganon.
opted for a different package na binago na namin siya. Pwedeng super minimal tao na lang, tapos magdadagdag na lang kami ng live stream instead of the SDE para para mapanood din ng mga tao sa bahay nila yung wedding nila. Then yun, next day edit na lang din, siguro a day or a week after namin binibigay, doon namin nire-release yung videos nila. At least yun, mas kumpleto rin yung like the reception program, na-edit na rin namin siya, na pagsasama-sama na namin lahat ng elements. So syempre, wala lang SD talaga. Hindi mo
Wala
na siya
lang SD.
mapapanood on the day.
Hindi lang talaga on the day. So, that's also an option for couples now. If they don't want an SDE, they can have a next day. Nagiging live streaming service din para at least yung mga hindi makakapanood, napapanood nila sa bahay.
Yes.
That's also...
I think may advantage din yung next day. Kasi may mga maka-capture ka pa to the last moment nung reception na
tama.
hindi mo na masasama dun sa SDE mo kasi na-export mo na siya, for
advantage
example.
nga din yan, no?
So there will be a lot more na parang kunwari baka may biglang moment na nangyari sa dulo ng reception.
Yeah.
So masasama mo pa siya. So there may pros and cons.
May pros and cons.
I think malaking decision would be sa couple kung ano yung personal preference nila.
What they want.
What they want. Oo. Kasi based from what we've been talking about with other couples, iba-iba din talaga sila ng preferences. Parang for each couple, yung isa gusto nila mabilis lang na reception, yung isa gusto nila normal na reception.
Yes.
So, nag-iiba-iba din talaga ngayon, Eri.
I get it. And honestly, I'm honestly really thankful that we're having this sort of talk because honestly, guys, things are changing. Things are nag-iba. Things are changing. What I mean, and I appreciate this open conversation with you all because these are the adjustments we're talking about. Like these are the possible options couple has, and ma-fine tune pa to over the next months. Yes, na parang what we're talking about now, there could be a whole different set of circumstances that we have to work with, or there could be this wonderful adjustment that we're like, oh my God, everyone loves doing this, gagawin natin yan.
Yeah.
But from what we have so far, I saw this nga, where si Joyce Ann Mendoza, who has Darlene as a host and has Kaye as a caterer, 3 hours only ang reception. I hopefully magkasaya lahat kasi I will have Kaye and Mr. as our host. Sana hindi mukhang minamadali because I want my guests to still enjoy everything. So there you have one. So that's, I would say, diba, parang I want to have it as normal as possible. Right? And we don't know the kind of couples we're gonna be getting. But for people to have anything, I'm gonna have this for everyone. This is, if they want to have a normal wedding reception. And for me kasi, the reason I wanted to invite everyone is because for me kasi, you can still do a normal type, feeling ko. It's just that there will be certain challenges. That's why I felt that wedding dinner time should be a decent amount of time para pwedeng mag-edit photographers and videographers. What would be the really most important thing if they would have to have a normal a type of reception that they can get that everyone was used to before all of these things happen? Let's start with Cece. What would you say would be the main determining factor?
Still the couple,
Mm.
syempre, how they will parang foresee their wedding day and then eventually involve everyone who's going to be there
Mm.
on their wedding day. And then um, close collaboration with suppliers,
Mm.
syempre,
Mm.
to make sure that whatever plans that they have will be executed
Tama.
properly and yung expectations nila mabigay din nung suppliers.
Tama.
Yun. And then, yeah, basically yun. And then safety for
Mm.
everybody. Yun yung number one factor.
Definitely, well said. I think I like what you also said, Cece, that a lot of collaboration. And if we're talking before, medyo automatic na dati, di ba? Na parang, kasi
Mm.
it's a normal sort of setting. We can pull it off. We will do this, we'll do this, automatic.
Yes.
Now, it's like you're saying, if we're gonna be we have to collaborate and talk more than ever now.
Yes.
More than
True.
ever now. Kausapin mo
Tama
yung
yan.
mga suppliers mo more than ever. Couples, like even 2 months before, 3 months before, even earlier, pag-usapan nyo na yung wedding program. And especially what you said, I love what you said, Cici, na parang managing expectations. Yes, gusto mo to, pero magagawa ba natin based on the conditions that we have with the venue and all of these things? Kaya ba? And kung kaya, okay, kailangan ito yung gawin natin. Pero kung hindi kaya, this is why hindi kaya and maybe we can adjust. That's super important. I love that. You have to collaborate. So for couples watching, based on CC's point, you have to talk to your suppliers more than ever, especially if you're planning to have your reception this year. Like more than ever talaga kailangan nyo mag-usap because we are working with conditions that we have to continually adjust to depending on the situation. That's a great thing to point out. Kay, anything you want to add in regards to, let's say, if we want to make catering like this or on a work or any semblance of what is normal, what would you feel are things that couples need to remember?
I think now it's just to just have a positive outlook on everything and
Mm.
don't think that you're limited.
Mm.
This is a great chance for us to rethink the way we do things.
Mm.
Mm.
Because to be honest, minsan, di ba, parang we go to a wedding, alam na natin kung ano
Automatic.
Alam mo na
Yes,
yung mangyayari.
automatic. Yeah, automatic.
Pero ngayon, parang wow, how exciting. We can actually do something
Different.
and something different and something that will fit the couple. So, yeah, yun lang. Just keep your mind open. Don't feel like why is this happening to me? Parang, pero just, wala, yeah.
It's an opportunity to create something very unique for you and maybe
very
even
personal, yeah.
and very personal. I kind of you know what's so funny, Kay, coming from saying that. I honestly did this show this episode because I'm trying to fight for couples having a semblance of what was closest before all of these things to a normal wedding reception. That's why for me kasi SDEs would be the most parang affected kasi time is short and you can't edit as much. So I'm having this discussion with you guys na parang, and I coming off this talk with you guys talking for an hour, I really like what you said in regards to this is a very very unique opportunity to create some new things and maybe some new trends and some new ways to really make things special for couples. And baka nga these things will stick, and then in the future when things are back, the whole industry is redefined of what a wedding is here in the Philippines kasi we've discovered all these new things na oh my god, we would never try
Pwede
this.
pala.
Pwede pala. Yung
Yes.
parang oh my god, pwede pala to. So we can get so creative and we might be able to discover things na parang oh my god, it'll just stick na pwede pala to, and it's new and it's unique and it's special. I love I think that's for me also that shifted my perspective. Maybe I shouldn't fight so much to try to come try to keep it. I mean, if the couple wants that, great. Pero if not, what can we do? Parang what can we create? What can we maybe do differently and do uniquely for the couple? Yeah. So thank you, Kay. For Benji, Alesi, anything? Let's start with Benji. Anything that couples need to keep in mind moving forward into the next few months?
Well, parang same lang din naman na sinabi nila K and CC. Pero I think uh, they still need to at least try to enjoy the whole planning process. Kasi of course we understand na there's a lot of fear. May mga couples na mas nagiging dominant yung fear nila of pushing
Yes.
through with their wedding kasi what if yung parents nila nagkaroon because they pushed through with the wedding.
True.
So I think malaking factor yung collaborating with your suppliers, keeping an open communication line with them, keeping them updated kung ano yung mga latest decisions nyo. Pero of course, we understand na there are some na naghihintay talaga kung ano yung magiging status.
Anong ginagawa ng lahat?
There's gonna be a vaccine soon, or babalik ba tayo sa ECQ, like for example. Kasi what if malapit na yung wedding nila, and then I'm not sure if you've been seeing tumataas yung number of cases natin. What if suddenly biglang nag-ECQ?
ECQ ulit, tama.
So they're not sure kung if they're gonna continue planning or if they're gonna hold it on for now. So yeah, we understand naman yung ganong
The anxiety,
feeling.
yes.
Yung anxiety. But siguro just try to enjoy pa din. Use the time to maybe think of other ways to make the reception better, or creative ways of something that you can do for your wedding, like Kay suggested, diba? So yeah, I think important yon para kung they're gonna push through with their wedding, ma-enjoy pa din naman nila. So hindi siya yung parang let's just get it over with, diba?
Oh, you know what? That is actually super important then to just kasi kung gagawin mo na lang din, if you're gonna let fear be the strongest emotion, why are you doing it? Parang ganun, diba? Parang why would you let fear be the biggest thing? Kung gagawin mo lang din, it's not like you're gonna be less safe, diba? It's not like being fearful is gonna eliminate any sort of. It's not gonna change the risk. If you're happy, the risk, and if you're, the risks will still be the same. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's gonna be riskier. I'm just saying that nothing changes. Hindi nagbabago yung safety if you're happy or if you're fearful. It's still gonna be the same. And
gets go.
diba, would you say the most important thing is that you just really need to have proper safety precautions? Yun lang talaga.
Kasi if you have the safety precautions
Wala.
In place, you have it sanitized, etc. Lahat talagang ginawa mo, social distancing and all. I think you're allowed to at least enjoy a bit, di ba?
Tama.
Kasi makikita din naman sa photos yun and sa videos na ba't parang hindi tumatawa yung couple, ba't parang ano lang sila.
Yeah.
Parang hindi sila nag-enjoy. Ayun.
So I guess for me, I think
Kinakabahan pala.
kinakabahan pala.
Oo, kinakabahan.
But that's super important to also highlight na parang one, it's almost non-negotiable to make sure that you have the proper venue and safety precautions, diba? Because it's gonna be so hard to be able to point that out and to still be happy if you have conditions na parang nakakaba. Yes, right? Na parang, so if everyone does their job, then and you push through, you definitely you can be happy. Like you deserve to be happy. Parang you've done everything you needed to do to prevent infection. Be happy. You deserve to be happy on this day. Just because it's happening now doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be happy. So if you do it, safety precautions, and don't let the fear overwhelm you, so to speak. Be happy. Just be happier. I think that's a great thing to point out as well. Alessi, bless you. Oh, layo,
Sorry.
layo, layo, guys, layo. Si Alesi, no? Oy, oy, oy.
Sorry.
Benji, ikaw yun.
Maulan
Natamaan ka.
kasi, maulan,
Natamaan ka
malamig.
doon, Benji.
Malamig.
Malamig. Oo, maulan ngayon.
Minessage si Alesi. We're a bit concerned, Alesi. You sneezed on the stream. Are
Okay,
you...
lalapit
no, but the jokes aside, what do you think are important? And honestly, these are all wonderful inputs. What would you have to say, Alesi? Like something that couples should bear in mind based on your experience so far.
Well, so far kasi sa lahat ng wedding na nakita ko recently, uh, pinaka-importante yung hindi mo iniisip kung like ano ba yung mga bagay na bawal, di ba? Parang you just have to adjust kung ano yung pwede for now. Kung gusto mo magpakasal ngayon. Tapos, yun, enjoyin mo na lang talaga kasi mas importante yung like ikakasal ka sa gusto mo talaga, di ba? Then, siya yung mas mabibigyan mo ng attention kung ano talaga yung nangyayari dun eh. Like, yung groom mo ba o yung bride mo ba, di ba? May kita mo naglalakad. Yun yung pinaka-moment for me eh. Yun yung kailangan kong isipin eh. Hindi na yung mga, paano ba tayo kakain mamaya, mga ganun. Mas yun na yung isipin nila. Kasi ako, I was supposed to get married next month, actually.
Uy.
Di ba? Nagulat kayo, ano?
Oy.
Wala na.
Who's your host? Hindi mga ganun. No, but go. No, I'm just joking.
Nagpamandin kami para kay Alesi.
Oy, congratulations. Oy. Anyway, go on. Congratulations.
Kaya na-feel ko rin yung mga tao na ano ba yung feeling na magpo-postpone ba ako ng wedding, magka-cancel ba ako ng wedding, or magpapakasal lang ako ng intimate, di ba? So, ang daming decisions na ano. Pero masaya pa rin naman siya so far na tipong bagong plano na naman, di ba? May bago ka na naman gagawin. So, enjoy nyo lang yun, yung part na yun.
I honestly think these are all wonderful ways to, wonderful endpoints, and definitely worth taking into mind moving forward. And at the end of the day, I think also parang what couples need to remember is you getting married is to the person that you love the most is what weddings are about naman talaga. Right? It's not about, the event is not more important than you getting married with the person you chose. Diba? So, I mean, for some, they envision na parang I want it to be like this, and it's valid to want that. But for couples choosing to have their weddings this year and still push through with it, the reason people gather and fly from one country to the next and to make time to be there is because we've all, for decades, have celebrated one person choosing another. Na parang, that's it. That's what it's about. That's why this wedding industry is as big as it is, because that has been celebrated, and that is honestly one of the most, that is the reason why we all gathered together, because you chose these, it's not the event, it's what the event signifies, which is you marrying your partner, and you're gonna get to marry your partner. Congratulations. You know what I mean? And that's worth being happy about. So honestly, guys, I can talk to you for a lot longer. I can talk to you, but I would love to have you guys over again in the future. I'm sure there are gonna be a lot more relevant discussions in the coming months. Yung pinag-usapan natin now, parang kalimutan nyo lang lahat. Bago na. I'm just saying na parang we are constantly adjusting, and I think everyone shared wonderful points. Cece said collaborate as much as possible with your suppliers, more than ever, if you are going to have your wedding this year, and that is absolutely agreed. Kaye said, don't look at this as why is this happening to us. You can also look at this as an opportunity to try something new. Diba? This is a chance to really try something new. And you'd never know, like something unique and special catered to you can be discovered because we're trying these different things now. Benjie said, don't let fear overwhelm you. I mean, you are allowed to be happy. I mean, especially if you've done everything you can to be safe, you're allowed to be happy, and that's definitely very, very, that's worth noting as well. And finally, Alesi saying that I mean, it's don't feel.
Ay, naku.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Binawian lang ako. But yeah, Alessi saying that, I mean, it's understandable that, you're going through these things and, it's anxious time, but you can still focus on enjoying as much as possible and making this as special as you can. You don't not deserve to be happy. So on that case, in that note, Cece, Kaye, Benji, Alesi, thank you so much. Honestly, I this is just an ongoing discussion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Parang
Yes.
it's an ongoing, and this is open, guys. We're not trying to solve problems here. We're not trying to get. I mean, we're trying to solve problems, but I mean, we're not trying to give the right answers. We're just openly trying to discuss what we feel we're gonna be going through within the next months with couples, and I mean that's gonna be an ongoing process. We have Albert Nicolas, Asian cutie. Ito talaga, yun talaga.
Hi,
May
Albert.
questions kaya ta ni Airy.
Huh?
Kasin.
There's one question here with Christine. Yeah. Is the number of couples, and anyone can answer this, and I love this, is the number of couples opting for a downgrade wedding setup in terms of venue, decor, light, and sound getting bigger to a point where they pull out some services and do not do the event without these suppliers? Interesting question. Guys, Cece, you can start with this one.
There have been questions about that, but we normally tell them to discuss it directly with the certain suppliers
Mm.
that they're concerned about. So, sige, for lack of better example, siguro with the caterer, for example, syempre with a lesser number of heads, would there be changes in the packages, either downgrading or upgrading? Kasi 'di ba, with lesser number of guests, it's possible that they would have more budget for food,
Yes.
um, or lesser budget for food because of the pandemic, 'di ba? So yun, so those things they really need to address it to their respective suppliers.
That makes. Can I say also? Can I add one thing, Christine? If you're gonna downgrade one, I mean, please don't. There is, diba, the minimum standard for suppliers, right? There's this level, and then there's upgrade, but there's a minimum standard. For your lights and sound, please don't go below your minimum standard. I would say. Like, I mean, don't go below na super na parang hindi na yun yung usual na ginagawa for lights and sound, because if you have a really bad lights and sound, Sina Benji will start getting affected. Alessi will start getting affected. This is in regards to the wedding program. The host, anyone speaking, will start getting affected. Honestly, the entire tone of your wedding program will be affected because you downgraded too much your lights and sound. And dun kasi lahat, dun mo maririnig at makikita yung mga nangyayari. That's it. If you have SDE, dun mo makikita. Is that safe to say, guys, that parang lights and sound shouldn't one of the things that shouldn't be compromised so much or downgraded so much?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah. Good answer. Thank you. Thank you. That's a wonderful super super the way you said yes just had so much layers. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yun na yun. Daming layers. But yeah, kasi pag pangit yung lights and sound, paano na? I'm sure we've
Well, for us, super important ng license, ng sound system actually.
paano
Kasi when we
na?
play the SDE, tas pangit yung sounds,
Wala.
parang hindi mo na siya maintindihan eh. Wala na. Sayang yung video. Parang damay-damay na tayo, di ba?
Oo. So
Yeah.
go on. Sorry, Alessi, keep going.
Yeah, go. Okay na.
Oh, sorry.
I think kung mag-SDE si Christine, important yun. Kasi, pero, there are some weddings din naman na parang gusto lang nila ng simple program. So, baka
Pwede
wala
yun.
na rin silang lights and sounds for that. Baka yung house lights na lang yung ginagamit nila for those. Kasi may mga nakita din akong ganun eh. Wala nang mga lighting effects.
Mm-mm.
I'm sure baka may na-encounter sila, Alessi, sa recent weddings sila na ganun.
Well, so far kasi, yung kunyari kung intimate weddings ngayon, yes, wala na masyadong lights and sounds.
Mhm.
Kadalasan bahay-bahay na lang yung reception. So wala talagang wala ka naman SDE. So
Oo,
kung kailangan. Pero
Hindi
kung
mo siya
meron ka,
Yeah.
oo, depende na lang sa resources siguro doon sa venue or kung ano yung kinuha ng couple. Pero syempre, mas maganda pa rin na meron kang magandang sound system. Kaya
Siyempre,
ba,
kung may mga first dance, ganun.
kung may mga ganun pa rin. Kung kompleto pa rin yung program mo,
Oo,
important pa rin na kompleto pa rin.
So case to case basis talaga, no? It depends what they want.
Case based.
It
So,
depends what they want. If you kung ito na lang, we just want this, then great. But if you honestly, Christine, if you want some sort of semblance of a usual wedding reception, definitely keep in investing in at least the standard for suppliers, and your suppliers will let you know that naman. Okay, so Christine, thank you so much. I hope that answered your question. Honestly, guys, we touched on a lot of things, and I'm sure these sort of conversations mag-evolve pa yan. Mag-evolve pa yan. And thank you, Cece. Thank you, Kaye. Thank you,
Thank
Benji.
you.
Thank you, Alesi, for the time.
Thank you.
For those watching, I hope that we've been able to at least provide some sort of perspective or insight in regards to you planning your reception. And again, this is a continual adjustment and challenge, and I think, like Kay said, there are definitely some new things that can come out from this, and that's not a bad thing at all. That is actually a very exciting thing. So some new things that were never experienced before in the wedding industry can come out of this, and there's a lot of things that you can definitely look forward to. Don't be afraid. Be safe for sure. But once you've done everything you've done in terms of being safe, then ba't di ka pa masaya, 'di ba? Parang why wouldn't you enjoy? Be happy na. So, Cece, thank you. Kay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Benji, thank you. Alessi, thank you. Is there
Thanks,
anything you guys
Ellie.
thank you.
is there anything you guys want to say, or anything that maybe we didn't touch on that you'd want to kind of end with for couples watching? Is there anything else? For anyone?
Parang wala naman. Ako for me.
Right. Oh, I had fun. I had so much fun talking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
getting everyone's ideas. Diba?
Likewise.
Di ba nakaka-shift ng perspective? Sabi ko, nga, hindi ko naisip yun eh. Kasi I came into it with one perspective. So now hearing all your inputs, I'm like, parang nagbukas yung perspective mo. And
May naalala ko, Eri, yung napag-usapan natin last time. Avoid yung bubbles.
avoid yung
Bubbles? Yes. Sa ceremony, like sa recessional.
Kay Alesi yun, di ba? May wedding na, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Actually, sa wedding reception, yung may mga, like, nagbabubble sila.
More than
for
one.
effect.
It wasn't, no, this
Yung
was
mga tao.
other, I think we all had shared experiences here. Bubbles, guys, is not safe. So kung nagbo-blow kayo, pare laway ko.
Lilipad yan.
Parang lipad
But
yun.
if they really want bubbles, then use bubble guns for Christ's sake.
Bubble guns.
Tama.
Tignan mo si Cece. Oh, tignan mo.
Tama.
Tingnan mo yung adjustment na ganyan.
Yun.
Bubble guns, tama. Di ko naisip yun, di ba? Parang, tama.
Machine nga naman, diba?
May,
Yan naman.
Bubble machine.
tama. Yes, safe. So basically, safety pa rin. Yeah, safe. But yeah, I think if we're gonna end anything here, I mean, we've had some wonderful points. And last thing talaga, safety really should be really the most important. If you're gonna have your wedding this year, there is a collective responsibility to really be able to pull this off safely with no one getting affected. Because at the end of the day, it's not even about the industry. I mean, yes, it's affected, but it's about not risking someone else's life. Yun lang talaga. I mean, if you look at it that way, why wouldn't you do the best you could? Kung mag-event ka pa din, bakit? It's not worth risking one life. It's not worth it talaga. Your suppliers, your family, anything, it's just not worth it. Don't even worry about the industry or anything. It's just not worth risking a life. So hopefully safety precautions and what we've discussed has enabled you to have a perspective in terms of saying, okay, ganito namin pwede sanang gawin to ng tama. And again, thank you guys. It was a fun conversation. And I think we'll definitely have more conversations like this in the future. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. You guys take care.
Thank you. Shout out to Kathy.
Hey,
And
Kat.
to all my friends.
Hi, we'll see you also, guys. Ang tagal na natin di nagkita. It'd be nice to see each other
Yeah.
again. It'd be nice to see each
Sobra.
other again. Grabe talaga. Well, in the meantime, please take care, all of you. Stay safe, and till the next time we all work together again. I look forward to it and the new things that we'll hopefully create together.
Yeah. See you soon, guys.
See you
And
Take
stay
care.
safe.
Bye. Ingat.
Bye.
Oo. Si Alesi, congratulations sa'yo, ha. Wala kang sinabi, Alesi, ha. Congratulations sa'yo, ha. Celeste, Alejandro. The you, Alejandro. Okay, guys. Ingat. Take care. Have a good
Bye.
weekend. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.